Life is hard, Xena. Life is very hard, Xena, isn't it? She says, yes, it is. Let me tell you my story. Hello, everyone. I got my head halfway into the weekend and didn't even realize it was 11 a.m. already, and we need to be sanctuary strolling, Mr. Riku. What in the world was the paparazzi thinking? Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to a live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. I see Riku, one of our hybrid rescues here. We're unique in that the Wildcat Sanctuary, we're not just a forever home to a lot of the wild cats that you see, like the bobcats, the lions, the tigers. Hey, Miss Dahlia. The lynx, the leopards, but we're also home to hybrid wildcats. So you can see Dahlia here. She has a very beautiful coat pattern, but that is because she has some wild genetics in her. Miss Dahlia is a Bengal cat, which is part Asian leopard cat and part domestic cat. And unfortunately, it's those wild genetics, Mr. Riku, that kind of cause these cats, where people wanting them to be living in a domestic environment, well, those wild genes, unfortunately, don't make them suited for that. Hey, there's starting to see some comments file in as I'm being totally run over by Bestie Riku and Dahlia here. Hey, Michelle Moore, hope all is well. And sometimes Riku can want to bully his sister a little bit, so I'm going to make sure that he's giving her space. Yes, I see that. And Miss Xena, I see you up here as well. Hey, Torben, thank you for coming in with the 50 stars. Faith Warner's tagging Casey Egan. Thank you for doing that, Faith. Kelly L checking in from St. Louis. Hey, Kelly, glad to have you with us. Happy Friday. I'm kind of spinning around here. I'm going to drop some treats for these two lovely ladies up here. Get some over here to Riku. We know Dahlia loves her treats as well, and I'm going to put some right there for you. Yes, there we go. Alrighty, let's see. Get my head screwed on right here. Susan Mensa, hello. Thanks for joining, Susan. And Susan K saying, aren't they beautiful? They certainly are. As I kind of briefly talked about, that beauty coming at a cost to these cats, from which is often the reason why they're adopted, is people fall head over heels for just the physical look of these cats without doing a little more research as to why these cats look like that, and it's because they are part wild cats. Hey, Lauren Elizabeth Lynn, saying hi to everyone. Jeannie Curry says, Ohio is online. Hey, Jeannie. Shannon Mason's here. Good morning to Lisa Wallstrom. Happy Friday to you too, Deborah J. Sanford. And we are feeling the Friday today. I apologize, I'm a little behind schedule. I was editing away some photos and looked at the clock, and it was already past 11, Mr. Riku. But hope everybody's doing well today. I feel like we've been spending a lot of time down, and truthfully, it is due to the internet connection, but we've been spending a lot of time down in kind of red zone with some of the big cats and being able to see some of the bobcats as well. We haven't been able to go into small cat track or hybrid haven, where I am now, as much as I'd like. Again, primarily due to the restrictions of our internet, as you guys have so patiently been dealing with. Mr. Riku, that's not polite. I'm going to get some treats up here. And I saw someone mentioning, hey, Daria, saying, yay, good morning, littles. And we're getting, we have another clamoring Bengal over here. Here's Miss Ashes. Hello, well, let me give you some treats here. Hold on here. I got some treats here for a pretty lady. I'm going to go through a few more comments. I think I saw a question on hybrid cats. There you go, Miss Ashes. All right, give me 1 second just to file through with some of the comments here. A lot of hellos, a lot of checking ins. I think I saw a question on hybrid cats here that I'll be able to answer. Barbara Townsend asking, what are they eating? I just have some lovely treats that I get to wear in my fun little treat bag that a supporter made for me. So those are just some regular old cat treats that you guys help us purchase by shopping our Amazon wish list. Sarah Leroy, that's what it is. Hi from Idaho. What kind are they? Well, Bestie here, along with her siblings, are all Bengal cats. And Bengal cats are one of the hybrid cats that we have here. We're also home to Savannah cats, in addition to Chowsy cats. All of these being part domestic, part wildcat, and all of these cats having a similar through line is that those wild genetics unfortunately don't make them the most suitable pet to be having in a domestic environment. So many of our hybrid rescues coming from situations where they're being surrendered for territorial urination or just plain poor litter box habits. And who can blame a cat like Riku? It's his wild side that wants him to instinctively mark things and really just not use a litter box, pretty boy. But you are pretty, and that unfortunately is the downfall to this breed, is that people see those beautiful looks and oftentimes are unexperienced cat owners. That's not to say an experienced cat owner can't take in a Bengal. There are tons of these hybrid cats in need of shelter and home. We receive calls on Bengal cats probably about once a week or more here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. So definitely something for experienced cat owners. There's most definitely an opportunity to offer a compassionate home for these cats where you understand them for what they are. You're going to get tangled up in my microphone, mister. I'm Woo! Uh-oh. It's always bad when the microphone gets cut loose because it looks like a cat toy. All right, Judson. And I appreciate everyone's patience too. Usually the Hybrid Haven posts, I'm having to be a little bit more kind of fluid with my camera. So if I'm jerking everybody around or don't have the cat in frame, I'm trying my darndest, Miss Bestie. But just talking about hybrids, you can always go to our website as well. You guys are certainly familiar with a lot of the articles we have on these hybrid cats and talking about why they're here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. We have some first-hand stories from hybrid cat owners, and we love these cats. We love them. But it's always worth understanding why they're here and why there's so many of these cats in need of sanctuary. Well, and this is just a fraction of our hybrid cat population, and I think we're going to keep on moving. And I'll just preface things again by knowing that our internet can be a little funky here in Hybrid Haven. So if it gets sticky, hang tight. Maybe back out of the stream and come back in, and I'll be keeping an eye on my screen as well to make sure we're not going through too big of a drop in service. Why? We need to say hi to you, Miss Ashes. I couldn't see you too well through that mesh. Do you like coming up on your steps? You really do. I'll put some treats up here for you. Oh, big jump for Ashes. I always smile because the bobcats typically greet us in a similar fashion where they have steps along their habitat here, and Ashes can come right along and get eye level with me and enjoy some treats here. And kind of to that point, talking about our hybrid cat rescues and how many of them are surrendered for poor litter box habits, is that oftentimes when these cats come to the Wildcat Sanctuary, sometimes those litter box habits can kind of wane. Those poor litter box habits can kind of wane. And that's because a cat like Ashes, she has an indoor and outdoor space. She has all of this enrichment where she can exercise and really do what this type of breed needs, is to expel that energy and kind of let out that energy. Just exactly that, Miss Ashes. So that's another kind of unique thing to bear in mind as well, is that kind of given the right circumstances, these cats can be appropriate pets, but knowing that it's a very kind of niche thing. What do you think, Miss Ashes? Wendy Roseboy saying, love that you take care of the cats from large to small. I am so happy too, and it's always fun too when the interns are kind of wrapping up. Here's Mr. Phoebe and Mr. Max, Miss Phoebe and Mr. Max. It's always fun. I know, you're a little shy guy, Maxie, and I'm staying right here. It's always fun when the interns are wrapping up their internship sessions, and we're kind of going around and talking about some of their favorite memories, and if any of they had any favorite cats after their time here. And typically you'd think it might be a big lion or a big tiger, but it's actually turns out a lot of the times to be a hybrid cat, and that's just as special, because these guys, even though they're maybe small in stature, well, they're just as kind of large in personality and character as the big cats. Hey, Mr. Ledger. And we've been looking at all Bengal cats. This is F1 Savannah Ledger. You kind of see the unique marking on his cheek. That's how Ledger got his name, as kind of the Joker's marking, as Heath Ledger played him in the Batman. And I can imagine Savannah Lady is out here, or truthfully similar to your cats. It's kind of breakfast time. Everybody's clamoring around, getting excited. You saw that when I entered the bungalow, besties, Dahlia, Xena, and Riku, they all came flying out of their bungalow. And so it's almost like everybody's had their meal, and kind of similar to your cat at home. They have their breakfast, they have their meal, and be a little kind of burst of energy for a little bit there, and then it's kind of nap time. Well, let's see Leo and Eddie. We're going to walk inside. I can show you guys. You know that we have bungalows attached to each one of the outdoor habitats here for the hybrid cats. Well, this is kind of a shared bungalow system. So let's go see if we can maybe catch any of these kitties, like Lupita or Thor Jr. or Maximilian. I see Mr. Leo here, always wanting to greet the caretakers, paparazzi, staff, you name it. And he's got his buddy, Mr. Eddie, curled up back there on his bed. And Eddie the Bengal and Leo the Savannah. Leo was actually listed for free on Craigslist, and one of our supporters pointed that ad out to us, and we were able to get Mr. Leo here to the Wildcat Sanctuary. And unfortunately, something that's kind of symptomatic with these hybrid cats is when people are just kind of fed up with them, they want to get rid of them as soon as possible, and oftentimes they're just letting them go and abandoning them, or listing a cat like Leo when he was probably originally bought as a hybrid cat for close to $1,000 or potentially more. So, definitely something where it's just really tragic to think that cats like Leo are going through this, and it's all because of his wild genes. Yes, Mr. Edward. Let me zoom in on those beautiful green eyes that you have. I love those eyes. And I hear Thor Jr. across the way. Or not Thor Jr., this would be technically Thor Sr., excuse me. I'll give you one more treat there. And I'll throw one out there for Eddie. Hope everybody's doing well today. It's a marvelous Friday here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. We're visiting with some of our hybrid cat rescues. That's Mr. Eddie there. You got Leo front and center. And it looks like Savannah cat Lupita just joined us. And we're going to go over. I got a treat for you right here, mister. I got a treat right here for you. Good man. Mr. Brave Eddie, I'm so happy. It's so good to see you. And Eddie has a story that always hurts my heart, and just again makes me so sad to think about what some of these hybrid cats go through. And that Eddie was the stud breeder at a cattery, and once he'd kind of aged out of breeding, he was discarded by the person that owned him, by the breeder. He was brought to a shelter for him to be euthanized, and fortunately we were able to intervene and get Eddie here to the Wildcat Sanctuary. But, you know, we were kind of talking about with Ava and the Peppers, you know, about how with these breeders, it's all about profit. And it kind of, you know, even going to our hybrid cats, you can see how much it's about profit to these people. And Eddie, who's was breeding cats for this person for years, probably making them thousands of dollars. What is Eddie repaid with? By being dropped off at a shelter. So that hurts, Eddie. That's not fair. Yeah. And it's bittersweet, but we're glad we get to tell your story so we can help make a difference for those yet to come, pretty man. Yeah. I love those green eyes, Eddie. All right. Did Lupita just come in for a quick in and out? I know that she loves her little blanket fort. Caretakers always make a point of ensuring that her cat tree is draped with blankets. Alrighty. I'm going to circle around the corner and see.
Teresa, are you here? Can you call Tammy up?
See who's around the corner. Perhaps Felix is out. I'm sure Felix is out. Which I would not confidently say that. About a year and a half ago, Felix went from one of our most shy cats to now a cat who's very comfortable with having the paparazzi around. Before I get there, I can see Dream and Kisa. Right in home base, as I'd kind of describe it here. You can see Dream. I'm just going to shove my head a little bit more in my tail, because that paparazzi, I tell you. And Dream, a Bengal cat, and she's kind of sleeping almost on top of F1 Bengal cat Kisa. And those two are thick as thieves, best friends. And I can see Mr. Felix across the way. And it's been exciting to see that these two BFFs have kind of let in a third member, and that would be Bonsai, the F1 Bengal, who also lives with this group. And I've taken you in here when we didn't see Bonsai before, and Bonsai loves, he has a little box kind of at the apex, the tallest point of his bungalow, and Bonsai loves his box time, so I can only imagine he's in there, and we'll be sure to give him his space. Let's see if Caracal Aurora is around, perhaps. Catch up on some comments, too. I feel like I've been doing a lot of talking, not a lot of reading. Dream is in a dream world. You're right about that. Let's see. Someone was maybe asking, even the hybrids you don't pet? And you know, that's often a question we get, and we certainly just leave that up to the individual cat. You saw a cat like Dream or Kisa, both of those, we know their personalities. We know that they're a little more introverted and a little bit more keen about their feline company as opposed to human company. Oh, and looks like I can click into the comment thread, and everybody's already done a great job of answering my questions. I'm the one behind the ball. That's Caracal Aurora, who I'm zoomed kind of all the way in here. She's found herself a perfect patch of sun right by the entrance to her indoor bedroom. And then, of course, she kind of squinted and looked and was like, is that paparazzi? Yep, it is. The TWS Diva hard at work, as always. Looks like I see maybe serval Lizzie across the way here. I do want to circle the opposite way to see if I can catch maybe Kisa Marie. And I can't go all the way around because we're working on an update to send out an update on some cats. And we'll be able to kind of get that all put together and sent out in the next handful of days here. But all is well, just some cat moves and wanting to make sure sponsor parents are aware of the cat moves and where the cats have gone before I break the news on Facebook. That's serval Lizzie. And serval Lizzie lives with Bosco, Phoenix, and Noonda. I'm sure you guys probably saw that rather adorable cuddle puddle video that we shared on our Facebook yesterday. Bosco sneaking his way into a cuddle puddle. I think it was Noonda and Phoenix who are already having their own little cuddle puddle. And you guys know more than anyone, in the feline world, there's always, always, always room for one more. And of course, Bosco, he climbed right on top of Phoenix and got comfortable. And of course, Phoenix, he doesn't mind whatsoever. It was fun to see.
This is Mike and the crew. We have exited Beauty's yard. Locked out.
A nice breeze today, says Christine. You're right. It's a really pleasant day. I mentioned that it had gotten rather kind of cold at night a couple of days this week, but it's been pretty mild the past maybe 1 or 2 days, and nice kind of classic fall temps. Climbs up into the 60s, gets down into the 40s at night. If I could control the weather and keep it like this all year, I would. Say what you will. I love, love, love being able to wear maybe a light jacket. Let that sun come and warm you up, Miss Kisa Marie. Hey, pretty lady. Here comes 21-year-old Eurasian lynx, Kisa Marie. Hey, pretty lady. You love huffing at me, don't you? You can see, I mentioned that she's 21 years old, so she does have kind of some matting on her coat there, because it's a little bit harder for a cat like her to groom like she used to be able to. That's where we always like helping some of the older geriatric residents on spa days and getting some of that undercoat out that they're not able to. But Kisa Marie, man, she's a cat on a mission. She does exactly kind of like you saw there. She sees you, she comes out, gives you a kind of a huff hello, and then she walks you over to her lockout over here where we feed our cats, and she's like, are you going to be going into that lockout? Because you know you could, and you could give me some food. You remember Kisa Marie as well as Buddy were part of our Saving Seniors. Miss Kisa Marie and Buddy were being legally owned, and were under good care, proper care, good adequate space. They're receiving veterinary care. It was Elise and I on the rescue. We were actually handed a stack of vet papers, documents from the lives of Kisa Marie and Buddy. And this individual was having some kind of life changes and had to be moving and wasn't going to be able to bring Kisa Marie and Buddy with her. And she loved her cats. She did some research and found out about us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and made the best decision for Kisa Marie, and we're so happy and thankful for it. We are happy, Miss Kisa Marie, and it's definitely something to be considered too, is the age of Kisa Marie, and that she's a 21-year-old cat, and us having to transport a 21-year-old cat across the country, that can be a lot. And the fact that Miss Kisa Marie did great during that journey, and you guys know that that's one thing we pride ourselves on here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, is comfort care, or senior care, or geriatric care. And you're in the right place, Miss Kisa Marie. You're in the right place. All right, let's see. Maybe Zambuca and Miss Scarlet, Little Diva. We'll see if those rabble-rousers are up to anything. I see somebody near their building. And I see somebody over here. I suspect that's Little Diva, our little huntress. Our little huntress. It is you. Oh, Miss Little Diva. Catching up on some comments. Yeah, Lauren Elizabeth Lynn mentioning about Kisa Marie's rescues. That was not the norm. When Elise and I pulled up to the sanctuary and we had a whole manila envelope filled of documentation on Kisa Marie, very uncommon for a lot of the cats that come here to the Wildcat Sanctuary. But again, this this woman loved her cats. She was owning them legally, and that's totally something that's okay, and she knew that they were coming to a great place, and it's exciting to see that Kisa and Marie were loved, and that love is going to continue, Miss Scarlet. And Scarlet Little Diva, they live with Zambuca, and Scarlet and Little Diva, as you'd imagine, the girls kind of have their, the girls kind of are in cahoots with each other. They'll kind of mill around the habitat at the same time, and really kind of cuddle up and really just kind of stay close to each other, and I like seeing that. It's not to say that they don't like Zambuca. Zambuca is just a little bit more independent, and he kind of values that independence, and it has been fun to see. In typical, I said, Huntress Little Diva, it is fun to see that these three will definitely curl up and get into some cuddle puddles in their indoor bedroom. I know that we've shared some photos of these three doing that, but it's still great to see that kind of the intricacies of some of the relationships of our rescues. So I keep on mentioning that Little Diva, the Huntress, because it seems like it's just been so common that we've been hearing in huddle, well, Little Diva maybe caught a bird, or maybe caught a mouse, or she's just ever curious about the littlest grasshopper hopping or bird flickering above her. And it's always entertaining, and I think just lends to what we're able to provide our cats here is these free-roaming habitats where Miss Little Diva can tap into that inner huntress, excuse me. Looks like Scarlet's tapping into her inner cow and is enjoying some grass over here. What in the world, folks? People are saying that there's ads. Oh my word. Certainly not something that we have put on the live post. Is a little pop-up ad that shows up in the bottom third. Is it advertising Facebook? Is it advertising just random things? Is it advertising us at the Wildcat Sanctuary? That's definitely curious, and I sure hope that that's not going to be something that's sticking around, and not a feature that I turned on. I know that Facebook likes kind of launching things without much notice. But thanks for everybody's patience regardless. Well, I'm going to see if I can find one more serval here. Oh, I find one when you can find two. Bosco and Phoenix. There we are, mister. A very small ad, says Deborah J. Sanford. Not advertising TWS. Boo. Yeah, weird ads. Facebook is a hot mess. I hear that, Faith Warner. Frustrating. I might have to do a little reading and see if that is something that they just kind of dropped on us. That's no fun. Lynn K. saying she's after an afternoon snack. Little Diva's always up to something. And an ad for Sensodyne, Lynn K. So it looks like it's kind of the classic kind of data mining ads that Facebook is notorious for. Well, that's no fun. Well, regardless, everyone, and glad that we got to visit with our hybrid rescues as well as some of our serval rescues. You could see Kisa Marie, the lynx, as well. And I think the internet was pretty good too, so I think that bodes well and gives us a good kind of point of reference to make sure that we can spend more time up here with these hybrid rescues, because I know you guys care just as much about these hybrid cats and servals and smaller cats as the big ones, as well as many of you being sponsor parents to these cats as well. So that makes me happy when I get to see a sponsor parent get excited about their TWS adoptee. This makes me so happy. Zoom in on those beautiful flashes and give a final sign off. It's Friday, everyone, and I hope you're all going to have an excellent weekend, safe weekend, and no matter where you are, if you're down in the kind of southern part of the United States, I hope you're staying safe and you and your loved ones are staying safe, kind of dealing in the aftermath of Ian, and it looks like it's going to make landfall on the Carolinas here soon. So definitely in our thoughts here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and regardless, I hope everyone has a good weekend, the best that they can given the circumstances in some places, and we're looking forward to seeing you back here on Monday. Bye, everyone.